Yeah, sorry about that, guys. That was weird. Oh, like, it's never closed while I was using it before. That was just really strange. And it looks like tomorrow there's a big move to the upside. A brief opportunity for failure, but opportunity to go long in the morning. Still Queen of Cups. Still Queen of Cups energy. Yeah, I mean, there's a really sharp drop here, guys, on the 22nd, somewhere between the 21st and the 22nd is my sense. However, it could be the 20. I mean, we definitely had that low right there for today. Right? And so, like, there's high correlators here still. My sense is that we're slowed down, so like the high correlators are probably going to be like pushed into next week is my sense, but I could be wrong. I mean, it's Mercury retrograde. I was off on the basis points by 25. I'll have to do that reading a different way. I have a specific reading for things like Fed meetings and like reporting earnings and stuff. I hardly trade on that stuff. I mean, we're right back on schedule by the end of the 22nd, so interesting. I mean, we might even see a sharp drop. So this was the success, right? We turned resistance into support. Or should I say... No, I mean, this is resistance that became support, really. So, success day. And look at that. That's a sideways S if I've ever seen one before. Wow. That's a big sideways S. Do you see what I mean by sideways S, guys? Like, if I take a horizontal resistance, it's not always horizontal resistance and support. Sometimes it's on an angle, but often it's horizontal, right? So you have a decline, followed by an incline, followed by a decline. That's Queen of Cups energy. And when we look at the 1 month overview, the Queen of Cups energy really lines up with the 21st. We have it midday, we have it at the end of the day. We see it at the end of the day tomorrow too, but it starts today. And you can say, whoosh, look at that. That's like a perfect Queen of Cups. And for whatever reason, E-Trade decided to make that line orange. Oh no, that line was there, okay. See, end of day here, a lot of movement. I think probably a big drop tomorrow. Oh, and there's a Princess of Wands energy at the high on the 22nd as well. As at the 1 day high for the 22nd, there's Princess of Wands energy. I mean, that's like a perfect... Oh, I was drawing on the wrong chart. I'm sorry, guys. Jeez. So Mercury retrograde of me. Alright, so horizontal. And like I said, it's not always... The Queen of Cups is not always between horizontal and vertical, or excuse me, horizontal support and resistance. Sometimes it's on an angle, but very often, like when I discovered the pattern, I noticed it with horizontal support and resistance. So you go from resistance down to support, a decline, right? Then back up to resistance, and then back down to support, sideways S. If you turn your head like this, you get an S. Very, very good formation there of a Queen of Cups. And when we look at it, we've got Queen of Cups at the high, we've got Queen of Cups energy at the end of the day. Oh, sorry, that's tomorrow. I'm looking at the wrong day. We've got Queen of Cups at the high here. We've got Queen of Cups at... My gosh. It's midday. It's not at the high. Thank you. My God. All right, so we've got Queen of Cups early in the morning. There we go. And Queen of Cups end of day. And so that's where it starts. You can... So there's probably going to be like a bigger sideways S somehow. Let me look at this. And this would be the failure card that we're seeing right now, guys. We're probably going to go much lower here. And then in the last few minutes, there's a rally that offers an opportunity to open up a short position or protect against... I'd say probably better to open up a short position for a swing trade overnight. But again, you see that sideways S. And when we look at the 1 month, we've got Queen of Cups energy all throughout the 21st and the 22nd. Hey, Decode. Oh, I'm calm, yeah, for sure. I have a retrograde strategy that I've been developing since 2007, where we trade on the edges, in the shadows, not during retrograde, but on the shadows. If you take a look at the pre-shadow phase decode of retrograde on a chart, and you compare it to the post-shadow phase of retrograde on a chart, like that time frame, those two parts on a chart, you're going to see that they resemble each other pretty closely. They're not going to be exact, obviously. There's different weekends don't line up exact, and obviously different influences come into play, but the overall trend is pretty much the same. So in other words, you get a sneak preview of what the market's going to do for like a 2 week, within a 2 week period. You get a sneak preview about 6 weeks ahead of time. And that happens 3 times a year. So I've been developing that strategy, I mean, God, since 2007. I must have failed miserably so many times and been right anyways, because it's during retrograde. I mean, I could tell you stories like the opportunity was so quick. By the time everything came back, done, it was gone. I ended up losing money. So that's why I do my best not to trade during retrograde. On the edges, though, you're good. If you know how to trade volatility, you're going to get a ton of volatility within the shadows. And during the shadows, it's still moving in the right direction. So it may be disruptive, but it's not giving you the opposite of what's actuality, you know? So in other words, that's a holding pattern if I ever saw one. Oh my God. In any case, I want to show you Mercury retrograde. Okay, so this was the pre-shadow phase here, between this line and this line. These two vertical lines, right? This is we should see kind of like a skewed version, or in the reverse of that. We have a drop, then we have some move to the upside, but it's super bearish. So this probably isn't the best one like to start with. But you get a reverse kind of formation of what happens in the pre-shadow. You get kind of like the reverse. But if it's a strong trend, you get it like skewed, like we're seeing. And then when we go into the post-shadow, which is I don't know how many times I've done this on E-Trade and it just erases it. We're going to the post shadow there and end there. What is this line doing here? I don't know what this line is for. All right, so what happened within that? Get rid of these. I finally got a mouse that works again. All right, so what happens here, right? This dip, that's the pre-shadow of retrograde. Now we're seeing kind of like a reverse pattern, so we should have some like, around here we'll probably have like a little bit of a pop to the upside, but it'll probably end up being down here. If it's down here, we're gonna have a super deep decline here. Well, we have a bit of a rally actually right here based on what I see on the 1 days. And that's probably preceding a sharp decline. Let's look at that 1 month. The October 1 month came out, guys. If you are on the free mailing list on our tarotfortraders.com website, then you got the prediction for you got the newsletter for the S&P 500 prediction for October already. And if you haven't, guys, go sign up at tarotfortraders.com. It's free. It's a newsletter. It comes out twice a week. We do 2 newsletters, one predicting the S&P 500 for the coming month, and then about halfway through the month, we do another prediction reviewing the past prediction. So once the month is over, we send out another newsletter showing how we did. We hold ourselves accountable here, guys. I have nothing to prove. My accuracy is insane. I have really nothing to prove. I don't care. Like, I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, you want to not look and just talk crap? By all means. I had this guy say, oh, I can't. 10 seconds of this video, I can't watch this with a guy who doesn't wear. Like, can you imagine? Like, he literally, like, yeah. He's never going to see 98% average accurate predictions of the S&P 500 ever again, or any other stock, unless he figures it out and then goes and gets another account or something. But here we go. This is a deep decline, guys. That's my sense, because we've got, yeah, this ain't looking so good. Steep decline. And then you see the unicursal here. I mean, it's like, damn. So, by here, I mean the 27th. There's a big move higher on the 27th, and that's a unicursal opportunity. We break down, rally breaks down the next day. This is probably pretty steep. This is probably a pretty steep decline here, the Hermit card, which takes place really on the 30th. Well, there's Hermit card energy here actually too, and here. Let's see when I did the October overview. 1 month overview. Created August 4th, 2022, my friends. Check that out. And then I marked it up on the 17th. Took the photo then, marked it up so that I could read it well. It's much easier to predict, to read these readings, because there's so many cards and so much information, and I have to transmute it into, practical information rather than ephemeral. It's a lot to do, so the markup really helps me to get that information like truncated into a way that I understand it, can speak it out. So there's 3 steps, right? There's the taking of the photo, there's the marking up of the photo, and then there's the recording and posting. But all these were taken on like August, what was this one? When I started recording, doing the actual recordings, August 25th. Most of them were done on August 25th, some of them on 24th, 18th, excuse me. So that's the October readings, guys. They were done in August, not September, August. And I could go out so much further. It's just like it would be too far ahead. People would trade on information that's so far out, they'd probably hurt themselves. And, you know, I mean, it's not so relevant. It doesn't get as much search. Like, you know, people are more interested in what's right around the corner. So I try to do what's right around the corner and get ahead as fast as I can, as far as I can while doing that. And that slowed me down quite a bit. I could be like years ahead by now, but that's fine. That's what this information is for, to help people. And if that's what they need, that's what they need. Yes, that's my expectation B. I'm sure I opened up a put right around here. I was expecting us to have a drop like after, a little bit further into the 3 o'clock hour, not so much here, but when I saw that drop, I was like, oh, we're doing this a little early. I bought a put, out of the money put. So I'm still split on the market, both directions, out of the money stuff. And if we don't move, if we keep doing this, I'm screwed. If we're going back and forth like this in like a little range, that's gonna melt my out of the money options. But if we have a big move, I'm gonna be very, very happy camper. It doesn't matter the direction. And my sense is that we're gonna have 2 big moves. We're gonna have a move to the downside, maybe with a like now and then overnight, but with maybe like a push, a rally higher just around the close here. So maybe in like 10-15 minutes, 10 minutes. And then tomorrow, God, I'm looking at this at the wrong chart, guys. I'm sorry. So I bought my puts right around here. I was expecting to do it over here, like more in the 3 o'clock hour towards the end. But sometimes that's what happens. In any case, so I'm on both sides of the market. We get a big move. My expectation is this Ace of Wands here, rally right around the close, opportunity to open up a short position if you haven't done so already. And the reason why my guys would pick this here instead of this here as the opportunity is because look at that whipsaw action. How many people do you think sold those puts when they got here? A lot of people. So my sense is that likely that opportunity without the big move to the upside is where we see this Ace of Wands rally towards the very, very end of the day, out of this failure card that we're currently in. And then tomorrow, 2 more aces first thing in the morning. So an opportunity in the morning to open up, to position oneself in both directions, which says to me we're going lower, but not on the 22nd per se. I mean, over like the next few days we're going lower because this is a midpoint kind of card. You want to straddle or strangle this card, right? So we drop overnight. And I sell my puts in the morning first thing. I come out so that they're expiring the 3rd week of October, and then I'll sell them in the rally in the 1st week of October. But I'll still stay like I'll still have a position where I'm playing both sides of the market because we're entering the volatile period now. As we get closer to Mercury stationary direct, the volatility increases. Let me show you what I mean. So this line right here is Mercury station retrograde. The influence of Mercury station retrograde begins here on the 19th, but it actually takes place where the planet freezes in the sky for a bit on the 9th, right? And so you can see as we get closer, the moves get bigger, right? And there's also usually a reversal as we move into these things. You can see there's a reversal. They're usually reversal points. So we should have a reversal here. We should have a reversal here. Wow, this is going to be a deep one. And remember, the September low is a fake out, guys. So it's likely going to be a really like deep low, or make it seem like we're going really, really deep. Oh, hey, I missed you, Raymond. Sorry. Like, completely up front, I already opened my put, Raymond. When I saw this happen, I bought my put right here. It's a little hasty, but sometimes these moves happen a bit earlier than expected or a little bit later than expected, so I didn't want to miss out. But I still do see there's probably, like, I mean, it could be a move like this. Being that there's only like a few minutes left, it could be a move like this. It could be a move like this. But what the point is that while the market is moving against the downside, so it's moving upwards, that's when you'd want to buy a downward side position. So like a put that makes money when you move to the downside. The best time to buy that is when the market is moving up, because there's a discount to that put. When the market moves in the direction of the put, it gets a premium. You want to sell it when it's doing that. Yeah, but B is totally right. This is a big opportunity, guys. There's a big opportunity here. This is what I've been waiting for, I'm pretty sure here. And I'd like to get out. My family's in town. I don't want to be paying attention to this. So once this is done, once I get out of these positions, I think I'll probably put on another like straddle or strangle, something like that. And then ride it out, like, and that strangle will go out till October. Oh, I forgot to open that up. And then this is something that Philip had pointed this out. There's a cross congruency here I've talked about a few times, guys. And what I mean by that is on multiple, like 1 month, October 1 month overviews of different stocks, I see the same kind of behavior happening around here and the same kind of behavior happening around here. So we've got some very significant moves in the market that are like, you know, they're market wide. They're not like specific to a stock. They're like a ton of stocks are going to move in the direction based on what I'm seeing, and that's like right around the 10th through the 12th, and then again over the weekend of the 21st through the 23rd. Around that time, there's these 2 periods of time that are like serious market moving times. So what I would like to do, likely what I'll do is I'll put on a on the 3rd, I'll put on a strangle or straddle, because that's outside of retrograde. I'll open up a new position. This was the plan. Probably make some money to the upside by selling on Monday the 10th, and probably make some money on the downside by selling puts on the 13th, or waiting and selling them probably on the 25th, my sense. But there's a TikTok video I put out. I believe it was either the very beginning of September or it was October or August that I put it out. Yeah, see now I'm getting all sorts of weird technical bugs. Like I can't click the reply button on. I can write the reply to my comments on YouTube right now, but I can't click reply to send it. I mean, little things like that. I've noticed happening in the last couple hours quite a bit. And from the standpoint of a clairvoyant, I've noticed a direct correlation between little disruptions like that, and the market moving to the downside on specific, like in the same time frames, because they're both being influenced, if that makes sense. They're both being influenced. Mercury influences travel, electronics, and communication. If you ask me, the stock market's all three. Like, the price is traveling. That's my sense. So yeah, so probably I'm looking for a good spot for me to open up a new straddle. It might be tomorrow morning. That's just too far out for my taste, though. I don't like to hold options that long. It's too much time value that can depreciate away. Because I mess around with out of the money options a lot. You gotta be super careful with that stuff. So in the midst of this little bit of a move to the upside, that's where we likely, I mean, if you haven't gotten in protection already, that's probably, as soon as a technical trader saw this, they'd probably get in to the downside. This breakdown here. This looks like the move. This looks like the move that was expected. But let me take a closer look on the daily. Oh, I'm doing it again. This looks like the move that was expected at the end of the day to me. Right, we're in the failure card. Now, I mean, we could still see a little bit of a pop higher here in the last few minutes. And then in the post-market sideways rotation, this is an interesting card for a sneak preview. The oppression card it speaks of being range bound. So the bottom of some range is my sense is where we open. Could it be down here? Oh my God, would that be something else? I would like for it to be down here. I would like for it to be at 368 or 365. If that was the bottom of the range that we saw tomorrow morning. Whew. I think I'd probably like blow up because everybody else would be like, oh my God, I just made so much money listening to this dude. Yeah, I was trying to reply to that actually. It's not letting me reply. So I'll try again like later. I guess probably tomorrow it'll be fine. You know how retrograde goes. Yeah, Raymond, that's exactly what I see. We're gonna hit the bottom of a range, and my sense is that there's two places we could hit. We could hit like that's the bottom of a range if you ask me, and then there's so remember early on what I was saying, if it's a strong trend over like overview trends, or like, you know, the greater trend of the market, if it's super strong, then it would skew the pattern in the mid period. I think because we're coming up on the solar eclipse as well, like that's really going to enhance some of the energies. See, we've got a solar eclipse October 25th. I don't know why that 4:30 is there. That's not supposed to be there. And this is interesting. I never noticed this before till today. That's very interesting. So I'm going to take note of this moment in time here. This was a pretty accurate reading, although we were a bit off here in the June, like the May-June area, where I expected to see like a major high. This one up here really threw me off. This ruin up here. We did see a move to the upside and a prominent crest that stands out here. It wasn't a high, but it was still a move in the right direction, which sometimes happens. That's why sometimes you'll hear me say it's a prominent high or crest, not necessarily like the highest high, because it's not always, you know, it's not. I'm not always given that information. Yeah, I saw that decode. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I've been dealing with my whole life. You know, I learned how to become a psychic in the middle of New York City by myself, in the middle of Manhattan, with all this like static going on. That's where I was born. You know, and I had all these like naysayers my whole life telling me, oh, they're not taking me seriously because I didn't have money. You know, like they only take you seriously if you have something they want. And unfortunately, I wasn't really interested in the money. Or I don't know about unfortunately, but I wasn't really interested in the money. I was more interested in the aspect of proving that anything exploring what had happened to me in my near-death experience. But, you know, I mean, I've been dealing with that my whole life. People been suppressing me, if you will. Oppressing me, I should say, or keeping me down in a lot of cases. People putting me... I was put on the small bus when I was really little. They held me back in first grade. Yeah, they held me back in first grade because I was developmentally challenged. No, guys, I wasn't developmentally challenged. Everybody else was. I actually figured, you know, you don't kill butterflies, you do the right thing. You know, like everybody else in the schoolyard's like tearing butterfly wings off. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. But for whatever reason, my whole life's I've always been different in that regard. People don't like when you make them, when you make it glaring down that literally makes that pronounced and stand out. They don't like that individual. They like their comfort, you know, the comfort of their whatever BS negativity activity is that they're doing. So that was the little boop. That was the little boop for whatever reason. But yeah, so hopefully people are into the downside. Hopefully people are on both sides. I mean, it's really much safer in a volatile market like this to be on both sides. Oh, I really hope we have a big move. My calls are like shredded. We dropped so much lower than I expected in the middle of retrograde. But again, like I said earlier,
everybody loves you. Yeah, you want to go to sleep?
Alright, so, what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. In any case, so, hey Caroline. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hit the likes. It's free stuff. We're definitely blowing up. Like, I got like 600 followers on TikTok in the last like day and a half. I feel like there's a possibility that one of our videos is going to go viral. And it's like, it's not at all the one I would have expected. We're not like predicting anything in it. We're talking about how we predict. But yeah, if you can share the live stream and follow and all that stuff, that would be very beneficial for the channel, my friends. We were like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, we were really close to having this stop. We just weren't bringing in enough money. Like, people weren't taking us seriously. Like, you know, the big companies were not letting us advertise. They were suspending us temporarily. Seems like all of that's kind of clearing up throughout this retrograde. It's a big turning point for my business and my life, this retrograde. I think TikTok got the message that people were discriminating against me by reporting me for no reason, which is exactly what that is, my friends. That's discrimination. You can't report somebody because you don't believe they're psychic for no reason. You can't report, like, you can report them, but that's called discrimination. You know, if you don't want to discriminate against somebody, then you don't report them for no reason, no matter what the hell you think. It's not your place. Is there a big storm out there in Florida? I had my earphones in all day. Let me look. Nothing going on right now. It looks like there's a storm in the distance headed our way, though. Yeah, I mean, there's always a big storm in Florida somewhere, but Florida's a huge state. When I drove cross country to San Diego from Fort Lauderdale, I felt like I was driving in Florida the entire, like, the first day I was still in Florida, like the whole day. Maybe even that night. It's such a big state. Cool. I used to live in San Diego, and I lived in Portland, or outside of Portland, in Washington State, Vancouver, Washington. But I've been to NorCal. I've been, like, all over California so many times. I used to travel in the desert. I went to the burn a couple times. I actually helped at the burn. Like, I brought solar panels, and 4 tons of solar panels to a burn one time, and we got a flat tire on the way. It was this big mess in the middle of the desert. I got lots of stories like that, guys. If there's one thing I don't got, it's a normal story. I'll take any questions if anybody's got any. Before I'm going to get on to TikTok and get some more followers going over there. Seems like it's building a lot of traffic for us. Like, 2 aces here is a big deal, guys. And the fact that, like, it's almost like this ace of swords here is here to, like, for the sole message to make me understand that I need to stay on both sides of the market. And that if we have a big drop and the ace of swords is where we open, then I should say, if we have a big drop, the ace of swords is where we open, and that'll mean that we have lower to go as well as higher, but lower to go still. See, another unicursal. This is, when you see unicursals, like, appearing, like, frequently like that, that's not a good sign, guys. I thought I saw another one real soon. Oh, it was in the overview. Right, so look, we talked about this. So there's this unicursal, there's a unicursal here on the 28th. I believe I'm missing one. Am I missing one? But you can see here on the 27th we have the unicursal. That's a cross time frame congruency. That's a really big deal. When you see a cross time frame congruency, that means that's like extra information. It tells you that the move that you're seeing on the one day is also showing up on the 1 month. So it's going to be a very big move. It's one of the ways you can extrapolate magnitude of a move, things like that. A lot of SO meta has to do with your ability to reason, believe it or not, because you're taking information and you're, like, basically by deduction, by ruling out things, you're coming to realize what it really is, what the information is telling you. You got to be able to do both. You got to be intuitive. You got to be able to draw information from the non-physical, and then you have to be able to transmute it into information that can be used in the physical, because that's where like society and the advancement of psychic development has really gotten stuck, because most people just haven't been able to figure out how to do both of those. You know, usually one person, you're one side or the other. But when I was little, I was told I was stupid so frequently by people that I started to believe them, and so I didn't trust my rational side of my mind. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna use my intuition, and I started developing my intuition. I didn't know the scale at which that would happen. All right, guys. Looks like there's no questions, so I'm gonna head off. If you're interested, I'm gonna get on TikTok in a little bit after I do another recording, the 1 month of October. I'll get on TikTok a little bit later tonight. Thanks for watching, guys. And remember, guys, when you make that money tomorrow, make sure you follow that rule of karma. I'll see you on